What did you guys think about my opening, the intro? Was that cool? Was it different? I'm trying something different. Let me know. Welcome to the Aaliyah Dastor Show. I figured why not just, call it my name, since that's what it is. It's really different things that I want to talk about, specifically that you are interested in or that you were telling me that you want to learn more about. So while it's called the Aaliyah Dastor Show, it's really a show for you. So my name is Aaliyah Dastor. I am a photographer, marketer, and I help professionals and entrepreneurs level up when it comes to using their personal brand to get more business opportunities and just more business clients and get to that next level. So today we're going to do things a little differently, and we're going to start with a highlight just because. Let me quickly make this all private here, or make it public. There we go, it should be public. We are going to go ahead and get started with a quick little shout out to a client. So I want to shout out Mary Ellen Rubenstein, and I'm going to read out actually a testimonial just because she was gracious enough to leave it. So I'm going to let the whole world know about it. So she came in for the second time and she wanted a shout out for her headshots. So actually, you know what? I'm not going to read it. It's right there on the screen. You can read. Go ahead and check it out. Thank you so much, Mary Ellen. I appreciate the shout out on Google, and I appreciate you choosing Alamond. So let's actually go through what it is that we are going to be talking about today. Today, we're going to be talking about personal branding. Woo woo! Personal branding, what is it, and is it for you? Because I hear a lot of people tell me that they don't think personal branding is for them because they're not, quote unquote, like they don't have a professional job or they don't have their own business. But it is, and we're going to go into why. All right, and then number 2, storytelling tip of the week. How do you start telling stories? Because as you're going to learn, that is a huge thing when it comes to building that personal brand and being online. Thanks for the love. And then tip number 3 is the item number 3 is going to be a tutorial, and then you're going to actually be able to take some action steps, that dose of information, and then you're going to be able to put some of the stuff that you learned today into action. And then number 4 is going to be a weekly giveaway. So if you are watching, I am going to pick somebody at the end that has given either the best comment, or if you're sharing the live, best engagement, whatever. Let me tell you what the giveaway is going to be, just so you know. Now, my personal brand aligns with supporting local businesses. So anytime I ever do any type of giveaway, it'll be towards a local business. It won't ever be like a Starbucks, as much as Starbucks is great, or a Pete's Coffee, or anything that's not like local. If I can't, like if they're not based here in Loudoun County, then it's just not part of my brand. So it's going to be a $20 gift card to your favorite local restaurant of your choice here in Loudoun. So let those comments come in, shares. If you find something that resonates with you, please leave me a comment, because I'm going to pull up the best one at the very end, and you are going to be the winner. So let's go ahead and get into personal branding and talk about it. Okay, so what is personal branding? Personal branding. A lot of people think that it is not a lot, but there's some people that might think that, working on your personal brand might make you sound or feel conceited or full of yourself. Some people might watch this and say, well, look at Aaliyah. She's full of herself. She's putting herself on, she's named her show after herself. Or, look at Aaliyah. She is, really putting herself out there consistently. However, quick tip, if you guys can hear me, will you let me know in the comments? I do want to make sure that everything looks and sounds good and my mouth is actually synced with my audio. That always freaks me out because I'm looking at the resolution. It's 59.94, usually 29.97. But anyways, so I'm going to carry on here. And as those comments go in, we'll pick somebody for our winner. Let me quickly go back. Okay, so personal branding is essentially, when it comes down to it, it's your self-awareness and self-preservation. What do I mean by that? Self-awareness means you are aware of your strengths, you know what type of value you can put out into the world, and you stick to that. And I don't mean you stay in your lane all the time, because I don't believe you should have to stay in your lane all of the time. But I do mean that you know exactly why people are going to come to you and what type of information they are seeking from you. So that's really what personal branding is all about. And when I say self-preservation, what I mean by self-preservation is it's kind of like a credit score. You don't realize that you need a strong personal brand until you have an opportunity and you're reaching out and you need some help. Whether it is to grow a business, whether it is to find a new job. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust the brightness here as the light is coming in. Perfect, thank you. Whatever different reasons might come up, especially like right now in the middle of the pandemic, or I don't really know where we're at in the pandemic. It might be the end, might be the beginning, who knows. But right now where we're at with the pandemic, a lot of people are looking for jobs, and it's not just a handful of people, a lot of people are. And if you haven't been spending your time cultivating your brand and you aren't really known for anything, or you might have amazing skills. You might be really good at something. But the thing is with a personal brand, it's what other people think about you. It's, do other people know that you are the go-to for whatever your skill set is? If the answer to that is no, then you really haven't cultivated that brand. You're just like a credit score. When you're going to buy a house, that's the time. That's not the time for you to be like, oh crap, what's my credit score look like, right? You should be working on that credit score all of the time to make sure that any opportunities that you need, that your credit score is strong. Now, here's the thing, you are not your brand. You are not your personal brand, right? Like, it does not define who you are, but you have a say-so. If you are careful, if you are thoughtful about it, you have a say-so in what that looks like. All right, so another point that I wanted to bring up is, like, you don't have any idea when someone is looking you up. Credit score, you do. You know when there's that little alert that goes off that's like, so-and-so looked your credit score up. When somebody is looking you up, you don't know that. You don't know when people are searching you on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on the internets. They're always looking you up, which is kind of creepy and scary, but it's the way it is. Thanks, Kimmy. Thanks, Raymond. So that's something for you to think of when we're coming into, how do we take our personal brand or credit score, the branding piece, what are the different things you can do? You want to make sure that you are looking up, can you guys see that comment that just popped up? Or is that just me? Maybe not. Cool. Sorry, I've got this new tech here, so it's cool. Look yourself up online and see what is it that people are saying about you. What are the different articles out there about you? Because remember, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, things that you post online can be found, and they will be found. Sounds a little scary, but it's the truth. People are going to find different things out about you, and there are things that you have posted. So I am seeing a lot of people right now. I think a good point that we could talk about, or skim over, not talk about, we're going to skim right over, is everything and everybody's feelings and thoughts when it comes to this whole political race right now that's going on. I don't care which side you're on, that's irrelevant. But just remember that all of the things that you say, that you put out there, those are going to be out there for a long time, not just right now. And not only will those things be out there, but the impression that you leave on other people will stick with that person or with that audience. Because unlike 10, 20, 30 years ago, when you would have a conversation with somebody, your message would just go to that one person or those 5 people or that 10 people. But now on social media, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, Twitter, all of your comments that you say, they're going to be seen and can be heard, and they can affect hundreds, thousands, potentially millions of people. So you need to make sure that you have that in the back of your mind as you are creating your content for social media. And remember, social media is not the place for you to go on rants that will come back to haunt you later. Okay, so this is not the place. If you need a place like that, find a good friend, call them up, and maybe you can run it by them and be like, hey, I kind of want to speak on this. And then let it go through. You're going to see, we're going to have some little points here. Let it go through the test of, is this going to help or hurt my brand? Is this something that I would feel very strongly to, I call it dying on the hill. Like, is this something that you are, you don't care. If this comment takes you down as a professional, as an entrepreneur, then you will stand by it. Because there's a lot of those type of causes and articles, if you wanted to share or whatever, that yes, the answer will be yes. I'll stand by this, and I don't care what anybody has to say, because it's what I build my whole brand around. And that's a-okay. But just make sure that you are willing to die on the hill for that comment or for that thing that you want to put out there. All right, so something else is I want you to think of thoughtfully being yourself out loud. This is what a brand is. You are thoughtfully thinking through, who is it that I want to be, and being very mindful of your reputation. Because at the end of the day, what I talk about, right? I'm a photographer. I do headshots for clients. We create videos here. I help my clients with social media. All these different parts, they all come down to your online reputation. When somebody sees you online, who is it that they think they are looking at? Who is it that they think that they're going to interact with or friend or reach out to? That is what you are doing. That's what my clients are doing when they come to me, is they're saying, hey, Leah, I don't like the perception that I currently have out there of myself. I need to step it up. Let me start with some headshots, because that's the easiest way, is the visual representation of who you are, putting it out there. Just before I did this Facebook Live, I had on, I call it my grandma sweater. It had a whole bunch of flowers on it. And I asked my husband, who is right now behind the camera that I'm standing in front of, I said, honey, should I wear this or should I change? Because, I have a whole wardrobe of clothes here at my studio, so that I can quickly change it to different outfits when I need to, for multiple reasons, whether it's being on video or a client comes in and I just showed up to the studio with my t-shirt. Because I understand how important it is to show up looking your best. He looked at me and he said, no, the sweater is a little bit baggy on you, and it's the grandma sweater. That's not the image that you're trying to put out there. Because we already had the conversation, because he knows that I'm being more thoughtful of that image that I want to put out there. So I want you to think of that. It can even start with your clothes, right? And then when it comes to your photos and you put that out there, that lives forever, or at least until you change out your profile picture. So being thoughtful, just even from like your photos and your headshots, is a good start. But then it starts to trickle over into the video content that you create, the articles that you share, the different comments that you say underneath somebody else's Facebook social media content. So it all works together so that you are creating this personal brand. Because I can tell you right now, there are certain people that the second that I see them post on somebody else's social media, my heart drops and I'm like, oh God, what is that person gonna say? Because they have already created that brand and that reputation of being a you-know-what stirrer. They're always stirring the pot. And that's fine if that's their brand, as long as they were thoughtful and mindful for it. I know personally for me, I would never reach out to them to ask them for help in anything, because I want to make sure that the people that I align myself with are aligned with the brand and the messaging and the feeling. So your personal brand will also affect who wants to align themselves with you as well. So when it comes to networking and growing your circle and being able to ask for help, there have been plenty of occasions that people have asked me to, and I had to have to refer them out to somebody else, because multiple reasons, but either my plate is full at that time, or even if it's just a little bit, like I don't feel comfortable doing any type of joint venture program, sponsorship, or anything, because to me, branding and reputation is number one. It's what I do for a living, and it's what I talk about, and I actually live it. All right, next point. You want to be heard. If you want to be heard, you have to be mindful of why people are going to listen. So how do you set yourself apart? My husband says this all the time to me, and sometimes it drives me crazy and it annoys me to death, but he's so on point and right. I'll come up with an idea, I'll pitch it to him. Like, what do you think about it? And he kind of looks at me and I'm like, okay, it sucks, huh? And he's like, it's not different. It's the same. Other people are doing that. And he already knows what my brand is all about, which is being different and not following what other people are doing and creating my own thing, whatever thing it is that I'm talking about at that time. And so he knows that I didn't pass the Aaliyah brand test of being different. So, how is it that you can be heard? How is it that you can stand out? How is it that you can create your own niche? How is it that you can, when people see you pop up on their screen or the email pop up in their email inbox, that they're going to say, oh, this is good, right? Like, this is something that I want to pay attention to. How is it that you're going to set yourself apart? And it can be absolutely nothing to do with your job or your industry. For example, I create headshots. We create videos. We do social media marketing for specific clients. We're not a social media marketing company, but it's something else that we help just a few of our clients with. I have companies I can refer you to if you are looking for that though. But so that is our wheelhouse. But yet what I'm talking about today is about personal branding. What I do with Loudoun 100 is about spreading the message of doing good things here in Loudoun County. When I've got a podcast, I've got Loudoun 100, I've got Element Studio, we've got the video, we've got the marketing stuff. It all gets tied together. And so when I talk about content, that's going to be my focus, is how do you create a reputation? How do you create a name for yourself where you're going to stand out? And it aligns with all of my jobs, all of my careers, all the things I can help serve and help other people with, but it's not all the same thing. So if you're a real estate agent, if you are a librarian, if you have a car detailing business, you don't always just have to talk about that thing that you do. It's a good start because people need to know what it is you do, but you don't have to just focus only on that bit. As long as you can stand out and people know what to expect from you, you're good. All right, and just a quick reminder, make sure that you comment on anything that I'm saying that resonates with you or that you love so that I can pick you for a giveaway at the end for a $20 gift card to your favorite restaurant here in Loudoun, because we need to support local Loudoun businesses. All right, that was just my little reminder for you if you're tuning in live with me right now. I'm gonna pick it at the end. All right, so who do you wanna be? These are some questions I want you to jot down or just screenshot this right now. Okay, because once you get clear on this message, it's going to help give you clarity on everything else that you're doing in your business, heck, even in life, because a lot of entrepreneurs, our businesses are wrapped up in our lives. So who do you want to be? First question, how do you want people to see you? Online, in person, when somebody says your name, what are the things that come after that? If somebody says, oh, I know Aaliyah, she, right? What's next? What's going to come next? Are they going to say, oh, I know Aaliyah, she's so full of herself? That's not what I want. Oh, I know Aaliyah, she's so shy. That's not what I want either. Oh, I know Aaliyah, she's empowers local entrepreneurs. She's always sticking up for the small guy online. She wants to, bring up people that are doing good things locally. That's what I want, right? And so I'm working backwards. I want to make sure that everything I put out there, everything that I put the Aaliyah stamp on, is saying and resonating with those type of values and that message. And then last question, what actions can be taken to align yourself? Because here's the thing, you have the power. You have the power to align all of this and create the brand and the reputation that you desire. You actually have the power to create all of this. Because as crazy, and I won't get too down into this rabbit hole, but a big belief of mine and what I believe is true is what we see and what we believe and then what is reality is not always the same thing. A lot of times it is not the same thing, right? If you're a mom, you get me. You could literally be in your house, and I'm not condoning screaming at your kids, but you could be in your house screaming, come on guys, let's get out to the car. Come on, we got 5 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you walk out the door and everybody's like, good, they're dressed nicely. They don't have spaghetti stains on their mouth and they're smiling and walking out and getting in the car. Now, I say this, I'm not saying be fake. Don't be fake. But there's a certain perception that you want to bring outside of the house versus feeling more relaxed in the house. And maybe not screaming at your kids was the best example. But what I'm saying is who you choose to be in the public eye, you get to choose that. You get to choose if you want to be somebody who's airing out their dirty laundry out there, because there's a difference between being real and giving the behind the scenes versus being so real that it's completely not allowing somebody who doesn't know you to give you an authentic or a chance to really get to know you. There's a lot of people that are putting stuff out there that if I didn't know you, or if your friends didn't know you, they would automatically shut you down. So those are different things that I want you to consider and think about. All right, so let's go to, let's see if I can get this. The next. Yep, I got it. All right, so the next piece we're going to talk about is our storytelling tip. Okay, guys, this is like really huge for me because I've teetered on this for the last 12, 18 months. Okay, so this first tip that I'm going to tell you when it comes to telling a story, storytelling, and yes, we just made like a right turn, but it's still congruent when it comes to that personal brand because you're going to be telling stories. So for the last 12 to 18 months, I have been trying to figure out, what is my story? Who am I? Right? It's probably a question that we're always asking ourselves. Who am I? What do I believe in? What do I care about? What is it that, I want to align myself with? Who is it that I want to align myself with? What, for me specifically, was about business, this specific instance, because I know what my values are, but this was more along the lines of business. I had to figure out, what is it that makes my heart sing? Because there's a lot of people that will say, sorry, Andrea, your comment, I'll bring it up later. That might win. What is it that makes your heart sing? There's a lot of people that are saying, just do it for the money. If you can make money in it and you're good at it, do it. Because, you can do, the whole point of business is to make money, right? And I might have believed that for a short period of time, but when it comes to the long haul, there are only so many things that I can stick to for so long unless it makes my heart sing. And that sounds a little woo-woo, but here's some questions that I want you to actually think of, because the first two questions are more of like the factual stuff, like the stuff that you would say in an interview or on your bio. But it's the last question, the last two questions, that will truly help you align with how you can take that piece and either work it into your business, or you can make it an entire business on its own and then use your business to support the financial piece of it. So the first question, why is it that you started a company? Why did you start a company? Sounds like an easy question, right? But get into your why, right? Not the year. Nobody cares about how long you've been in business or, where you're located. Nope. Why? Why did you start it? And it's okay if it was, I started it because I started it because, here's my why. My honest to goodness why I started my headshot photography business. It was a photography business at first. I started it because I was a young mother. I guess I wasn't that young. I was 22. I was a young mother. I was a new mother. And I needed to be able to make money. I was working after school at Casa. Woot woot, loved Casa, loved all those kids there. They helped my story. They helped bring me to choosing photography, but I was a young mom who knew that I needed to really focus on something, and I wasn't going to be going to med school. I had decided, and so I knew that I had to actually figure out a career path for myself and for my baby, Layla. She was a baby at that time. And so that was truly my why. And then I obviously fell in love with the process and the journey, and all of the things that I've accumulated as a child started playing into growing a business. And I always tell people when they're like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky that you found something that you're passionate about. But I tell them, like, photography, it's great that I fell into photography, but for me, it's about the people. It's that connecting with people. That's what I love. So whether it's through the camera, whether it's through conversations, whether it's watching them shine on a stage, however that is, like, I love connecting with people. Okay. Number two, what is it that your company does? What does your company do? All right, that's the second question. And then easy peasy. All right, and then number 3, what are you passionate about? What are you passionate about? Like truly, it doesn't have to be necessarily connected to your business. What is it that you would do for free, that you wouldn't have to get paid for, that you are so passionate about that it drives, it motivates you. You think about it at night. You think about it first thing in the morning. If you went out with your friends and you guys were doing a retreat, or you were doing a getaway, it would still sneak back into your thoughts. So that's the 3rd thing. What are you passionate about? And then the last one that we started with is, what is it that makes your heart sing? Like, what could you do that just, you would feel so alive and on fire? So I want you to write that. Andrea, does fun have, yes, does having fun count? It does. But you know, Andrea, actually get in a little bit deeper to that. What is that? What do you mean by having fun? Like, what does fun look like to you? Define fun. You don't have to publicly here, but define what fun means to you. Because for me, my fun and Raymond's fun is completely different, okay? Like, we have completely different personalities when it comes to a lot of that type of stuff. So once you can get really clear and align with that and just have that clarity, it might actually get you closer to answering these questions. All right, so let's go ahead and move into this next piece. I hope you took some notes there. Oh. All right, let's go into our tutorial and action steps. Remember, best comment or shares, whatever, I am going to pick somebody at the end for a $20 giveaway gift card for a local restaurant. So I'm going to $20. Yeah. All right. Raymond was like flashing his hands at me. I was trying to read that. Okay, so tutorial and action steps. Let's think about, how do you actually become somebody of value? And then Raymond, pause me if you need to pause the camera to switch it. Okay. So first thing is, that's the first question I want you to actually ask yourself. How do you become somebody of value? A lot of people want to reach out to others, asking them for things without thinking about how they can contribute to the other person. Like, anytime you ask somebody, it should always be a win-win. Whether, even if you're doing a nonprofit, if you're doing ask for a nonprofit, or if you work for a nonprofit, a lot of nonprofits get it. They're like, you know, people don't want to give to us as much because there's not as much getting on their end. They don't feel like it's as, and of course you should be giving to nonprofits because it's, you know, coming from the heart, but there's only so many resources and funds. And when you're trying to make a decision between, should I go ahead and get this out of my marketing budget versus my charitable fund, if you were thinking through how this is actually going to help them tap into marketing for their business, or if you created the, you know, the value like that, then you're going to be able to connect with companies and individuals and let them know that this is actually marketing. You know, so that was just an example here. Let's move on to the next step. I don't want to get too much into here. Think of your top 3 things you could offer someone that you would like to bring into your circle. And I'm going to give you examples here in a second. Raymond, would you just quickly do the switch for me? Yep, just turn it off and on, please. All right, so we are back as we are wiggling along here. All right, so the top three things. All right, so here's some examples. Now, I already mentioned the marketing piece. So if I'm gonna ask somebody to be on a show, or if somebody's gonna volunteer their time to come and talk to me, I'm gonna make sure that I'm marketing them. Even though they volunteered and they're not paying me for the video. If it's like recently we did success stories, those individuals, I value their time. They're successful people that took 30 minutes to an hour of their day or longer if they had to commute. I know some people drove in for over an hour to come in to do it. They gave me their time. I'm gonna make sure that that video looks darn good. I'm gonna mark it across the platform, all of my platforms, and I wanna make sure that I'm giving them as much exposure as possible. Why does that work for me? Specifically, it works because the next time I go and ask people for something online on social, people will say yes. I mean, like I had 5 people that weren't able to make it reach out to me and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Can I please, is there any way? I just had those 3 days and they were filled. But the next time I put it out there, they're going to fill up really quickly again. And that's what I want. I want to make sure that anybody that gives me any of their time or they invest their money in me with the company, that they are getting a 10x on the return of investment, whether that's time on their end or financial or money. So there's one thing, is the marketing piece. Something else is your network. That is an easy way that you can give somebody value. For example, you're reaching out to somebody, you want to connect with them. Something easy you could say is, hey, would love to connect with you, especially if it's somebody you truly want to connect with. It's not just like a blanketed or mass email. Say, hey, if you come across anybody in my LinkedIn connections and you want an introduction to, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and let me know. Gosh, I feel like I rehearsed that. But that's something that's easy that you can say to somebody, where you're saying like, hey, I want to give you too. Like, thank you so much for your connection, but I also want to be able to give to you. So that's another one. Something else would be, if you have a specific skill set, or if you have and I'm not saying give away like your services or products for free, even though I'm always giving away like gift cards specifically for local business owners, because I just believe in that. And why not support local business owners, right? But think about, like, if you have a podcast, or if you do blog articles, if your company has a website and you do write-ups, if you're a local real estate agent, write up other, whenever I say write up, it reminds me of my CASA days, and I'm like, okay, we don't need a write-up today. Anyways, let's not say write-up. If you have a blog, let's, write an article on that business and put them on your blog, shout them out. There's so many different ways you can do exposure. Facebook Live, you can do a joint Facebook Live and interview them. Right now, you can do it on your phone, where you can invite somebody to, hop on a Facebook Live with you. Or there's different, like StreamYard, you can download StreamYard so that you can interview multiple people. There's so many different ways that you can actually do this. And that's just the exposure piece. If there's something else you're able to do, let's say you are somebody who goes to events, or you always have tickets to give away. If it's somebody specifically you want to connect with, then you can say like, hey, I have a whole table that I got at this, even though galas aren't necessarily, they haven't come out full on yet, but once they come back, which I'm praying they will soon, once we have different events and stuff we can go to, you'd be like, hey, I'm going to this, or I have a whole table at this gala event. I would love to invite you to be one of my VIP guests. Like, give them that value. I would love to connect you to my circle. Or even if it's like, hey, so-and-so, I think you'd be best friends with my business or my partner over here who helps with this thing, because I saw you write an article about this thing and I want to connect you. Like, be a giver before you're asking. So those are just a few different examples. All right, let's go ahead and move into, so Jeffrey Gitomer, I think that's how you say his name. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. That's a quote by him, not my quote. And it's totally true. And the nice thing is social media makes it so easy for a lot of people to know you, right? Have you ever been out in public and somebody's like, hey, I know you. And you're like, crap, where do I know them from? And then you realize it was like from social media, like either you saw their photo or they were in a photo with somebody else that you knew, and you feel like you know each other. That's what social media is allowing us to do, is connect with people in ways, bigger than face-to-face, one-on-one. Okay, so you want as many people to know you as possible. All right, and then your projected image will be your ticket to if they say yes or no. And that is huge. That is huge, because it's something that we don't want to admit, but it's the truth. Whether somebody says yes, or how easy it is to get something booked, or having access to different resources, or having access to a specific person to ask them a question, or to get on their podcast, or to get into different events, get invited as a VIP. It is your projected image. And let me tell you a story about this. All right, I'm going to throw myself under the bus here. So I have been driving this, what year is it, Raymond? 2003, 2005? Oh, he says 2005. 2005 Honda Odyssey for like ever. I mean, like for like 6 years. To me, that's forever. And it was a very used car van when I bought it. I now have had at least 7 people that I know that have either messaged me or said to me personally, hey, Leah, I think it's about time for you to go ahead and like level up, step up, like get something, something that's not so old. I mean, there's some rust spots that we've patched up. And I think it's because it aligns with my value of keeping things that still serve its purpose. And I've always seen a car as serving a purpose of getting me from point A to point B. But then here's another thing on the flip side. Something else I do is when I see somebody drive by or pull up, or I go somewhere and I see it's like brand new Mercedes-Benz or a new Tesla, my immediate reaction is, oh my God, what do they do? Because they are obviously successful, right? I mean, that's just at least my own judgment. And so that leads me to think, okay, I wonder how many times, you know, I've pulled up in something at an event or in front of a house or wherever, or sitting outside my studio, they see the Loud on 100 sticker on it and they think, oh, that's what she drives? And I know that's a little bit judgy, but unfortunately it's the truth. It's human nature to judge people. Like, I don't judge people that have cars similar to mine, but I definitely judge people that have really nice cars as being successful people. Oh, I just choked on my spit there. As being successful people. Let me actually get myself a drink of water because I'm talking 100 miles an hour. Okay, so people judge you by every action you take. Hopefully you didn't just judge me on that action, but people are judging you all the time. Take that into consideration. So here's your homework. This is what I would love for you to do. Yes, Andrea, it's our getaway van. Definitely our getaway van. I'm going to keep it. Don't worry. When I get something new, I will be keeping that van. All right, I want you to, here's your homework assignment for the week. I would love for you to actually go through your Facebook, your Instagram, and I want you, or LinkedIn if you've actually been using your LinkedIn. Good for you if you have. Do some house cleaning. Look at the posts. You're allowed to archive or delete posts that aren't serving you today. Or if it's a photo of yourself that you're like, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with authentic, real, everyday photos. That's actually really good. But if you don't think it serves the person you are sculpting and molding yourself to become, delete it. It's okay. Nobody's going to judge you for that. Heck, it won't be around. Well, it won't be easily accessible. It's always around. But delete it, you know, and be mindful. So not just going through and doing housekeeping in terms of deleting, but also being mindful going forward. Guys, be careful about what you're posting on social media. Okay? Like really think through what it is and who you are showing yourself to be, you know, or even, you know, the calling out or the bashing or the putting people down. Or I see a lot of people say like, hey, can't we just be nice? And then they get attacked for that. Think about how that's going to come back. You know, 6 months from now, 12 months from now, 18 months. Think about the relationships that you're hurting when you're doing that, because at the end of every screen is another human being. That rhymed, but it's true. All right, so take that into consideration. Okay, so I believe it's now time. Wait, let me check. Let me know also which tip you've heard so far, because I'm getting ready to do the giveaway. So if you haven't put a comment in yet, make sure you do that. Let me know which tip you've seen. Everyone, okay, I can't say that one out loud, Andrea. Just because, you know, me and my prudeness. Okay, I'm going to play this for you. That's gonna win. Do you see it? All right, guys. All right, guys, I'm looking for somebody to choose. That's what I'm doing right now. Okay. Okay, Andrea, I'm sorry, but you're the winner. I don't know if you can see her comment here. Can you see it? Is it popping up for you? Okay, so Andrea, you win the comment of the day. I'm not going to say it out loud though, but you win the comment of the day. So reach out to me for your gift card and enjoy. All right, so before we wrap it up, before I end today's live, you can actually hopefully look forward to these every single week on Mondays. And let me know of anything specific that you would like to see or for me to share. But I'm going to be curating some great content for you that is helpful and valuable and that you can embrace and help you get to that next level personally and in business. I'm going to be doing giveaways every single week because, like I said, I want to continue supporting local business owners. And then also, as you can see in the comment or the link right here, we are still booking our holiday photos. So it is 100% of the session fee is going to laws. Let's see if I can do like shing, is going to laws. So we've got a huge goal. Me, Andrea, and Kimmy, we have joined forces. Dun, 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 dun. We've joined forces. You're gonna see our very, I think it's gonna be a little cringy video that we're sharing tomorrow. It's like mom humor. Layla would call it cringy. My daughter would. I don't think it is. I think it's cool, but whatever. But we're going to be sharing that tomorrow, giving away the location that we're going to do them at. It's a beautiful location. Like I wanted to spend my entire day there on Sunday. It was gorgeous. But we still have some photo shoots available, so make sure I'm trying to like frame it properly here. holidayphotos.youcanbook.me. Pick your date and time. Know that 100% of the session fee is going towards laws. We've got a really big goal that we are trying to raise for them because, as you know right now, women and kids, they need the support and they need the, hey, Raymond, would you mind adjusting the light? They need the support as much as ever right now. When home is very important and safety is very important, we're gonna make sure that we're taking care of our community. So make sure you book your session. It's gonna be at a beautiful location. We still have some sessions available. And if you found value in today's Facebook Live, please share it with your friends, family, Facebook groups that allow you to share videos in. Make sure you ask permission first. And if there's anything else I can help answer for you when it comes to headshots, video marketing, or just social media brand reputation, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next week.